The radio crackled with urgent warnings across the warm waters of the Gulf of Oman, just miles from the narrow entrance to the Strait of Hormuz. An Iranian-flagged cargo ship named Tuska refused to stop. It pushed forward aggressively, trying to slip past the American naval blockade. Then came the sharp, unmistakable crack of naval gunfire. The U.S. Navy opened fire, disabled the vessel with precise shots, and fully seized it in a rapid, professional operation that sent shockwaves through Tehran and the wider region. It all started as a routine but high-stakes interdiction patrol. The USS Spruance, a guided missile destroyer, was holding station as part of the strengthened U.S. naval blockade when its radar operators picked up the Tuska attempting to skirt the restricted zone. Bridge officers immediately began issuing repeated radio warnings in both English and Farsi. Iranian-flagged vessel Tuska. This is U.S. Navy warship. You are entering a prohibited area. Alter course immediately, and heave to. The Iranian ship gave no response. It maintained its speed and heading, clearly determined to break through the blockade line toward Iranian waters. Tension on the Spruance's bridge rose quickly. The captain monitored the situation closely, while the crew prepared for escalation. Warning shots were fired, first bright tracer rounds from the 5-inch Mark 45 gun splashing dramatically across the bow of the Tuska. Still, the ship did not slow down or change course. After 6 hours of ignored warnings and continued defiance, the order came down from higher command. Disable the vessel. The Spruance's main gun barked twice in quick succession. Precision high-explosive shells slammed into the ship's engine room, blowing a hole through the machinery and instantly killing propulsion. Thick black smoke poured from the stricken vessel as it began drifting helplessly in the gentle swells of the Gulf. The entire sequence, from first warning to disabling fire, took less than 4 intense minutes. With the Tuska now dead in the water and no longer a threat, the next phase unfolded rapidly. Rigid inflatable boats launched from the destroyer, carrying a well-trained boarding team of U.S. Marines from the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit. The Marines approached the listing cargo ship at high speed, weapons ready, under the protective cover of the destroyer's deck guns and 2 hovering MH-60 helicopters. They climbed the side using boarding ladders while the Iranian crew stood on deck with hands raised in surrender. The Marines moved with calm professionalism and speed, securing the bridge, engine room, and main deck within minutes. No shots were fired during the boarding. The entire Iranian crew was taken into custody without further resistance. Search teams immediately began a thorough inspection of the holds and thousands of containers, looking for anything that might explain why the Tuska had risked running the blockade. The seizure was executed cleanly and firmly. Video footage later released by U.S. Central Command showed Marines moving methodically across the deck of the disabled ship while it sat low in the water. The operation demonstrated both restraint in the initial warnings and decisive action when those warnings were ignored. No casualties were reported among the Iranian crew, but the message to Tehran was unmistakable. Attempts to breach the U.S. naval blockade near the Strait of Hormuz would be met with force. In the hours that followed, the damaged Tuska was taken fully under American control. It was carefully towed to a secure location for deeper inspection while Marines continued searching thousands of containers aboard. Iranian state media reacted with immediate fury, condemning the action as maritime piracy and an act of aggression. Tehran's Joint Military Command issued strong statements vowing a swift and appropriate response. Iranian officials called the seizure a dangerous escalation and questioned the future of any ongoing peace talks. On the water, however, the reality was clear: this was the first major successful interception since the blockade began, and it had gone exactly as planned. The incident sent ripples far beyond the Gulf. Global shipping companies and energy markets watched closely. Tankers that had been hesitant now had a fresh reminder of the risks involved in trying to defy the blockade. Meanwhile, the Marines and Navy crew involved in the operation maintained heightened alert status. Additional U.S. warships repositioned to strengthen the cordon, while intelligence teams began analyzing everything recovered from the seized vessel. The successful seizure reinforced American determination to keep the critical waterway under strict control. This bold action marked a significant escalation in the ongoing standoff over the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. Navy had shown it was willing to use measured but firm force to enforce the blockade. The rapid disabling of the Tuska and the professional boarding by Marines sent a clear signal to Iranian leadership. The strait would remain open under American oversight, and violations would not be tolerated. Iranian forces in the region now face the reality of a disabled vessel in U.S. hands, and the possibility of more interceptions in the coming days. Even as the immediate tactical operation concluded successfully, the broader strategic tension in the Gulf stayed extremely high. U.S. naval forces remained on full readiness. Iranian naval and coastal units stayed active nearby, monitoring every movement. The Marines continued securing the seized ship, while analysts worked around the clock to understand its cargo and intentions. Everyone involved understood that one successful seizure did not end the larger confrontation. It only raised the stakes for whatever might come next. The Strait of Hormuz had just witnessed a defining moment in the current maritime pressure campaign. The U.S. Navy's decision to open fire and fully seize the Iranian-flagged ship had shocked Tehran and demonstrated Washington's resolve to protect global shipping lanes. The operation was over, but the watch continued. If you want to stay right on top of these fast-moving developments in the Strait of Hormuz and understand what this seizure really means for the balance of power, global oil supplies, and the future of the region, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications right now. Drop a comment below and tell me, do you believe Iran will launch a direct retaliation, try to negotiate quietly, or attempt more shadow fleet runs? Which side do you think holds the stronger position after this incident? The situation is still developing rapidly, and the next major update could arrive at any moment.